Hello.
Greetings, John. How are you? Good, yourself?
Yeah, not bad.
Awesome. Where are you based now?
I'm in Madrid, in Spain.
Okay. I thought you'd be in the UK.
Sorry?
I thought you'd be in the UK.
No, I'm in Spain. Where are you?
I'm in Germany, not far away from Hanover.
Oh, right. Wow. Okay, fantastic.
Super. Glad you could make it to my small and humble channel.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
No, awesome. Great. Well, let's kick it off. Pretty much my standard entry question for all the interviews is, how has your life been these last 2-3 crazy years?
Incredible, crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. I didn't realize what an impact the state can have on people's lives.
Yes.
I'd never imagined. So yeah, it's been crazy. With wearing masks, vaccines, and all of it.
When it all started, I couldn't believe I was actually walking into a bank with a mask.
I know. Unbelievable.
Things you would know.
Any other time, somebody would be, you can't wear a mask in the bank. They'd be frisking you to see if you've got a shooter or some kind of weapon on you. Unbelievable.
You got an agenda, yeah. No, it's been insane. Yeah. And just as we thought things were sort of calming down and stabilizing a little bit, we've got another crazy head there in the Ukraine. So
I know, yeah. It was almost right on cue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's sort of the tail ending of the COVID restrictions and the mandates being repealed and all that. We had right just on time, the Ukraine and Russia. No. Unbelievable.
So, yeah, he must have thought I'm just going to add to the insult to injury and sort of make it worse. So, John, when have you moved to Madrid? Is it quite a while back, or?
It's about 16 years ago.
Oh wow! Okay, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, it was when I got married, because my wife's Spanish, and I thought, it'd be nice to go and live in a warm country and.
Oh, absolutely. I wish I could move to Spain. The German weather is doing my head in.
Yeah, what's the weather like with you at the moment?
Look, at the moment it's okay, but the winters are really. The thing is, I'm originally from Africa, so it's the gray does me, does me bad. So. I'm used to about 340 days of sunshine a year, so.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, in Africa, you're going to get nice weather there, aren't you?
Absolutely. Blue skies, so yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't have it all, so.
Yeah, I've lived here for 16 years, and the local Spanish people. They all kind of complain about the weather in the summer because we get 2 or 3 months of really hot weather, and they start to complain a bit like how the British complain about the rain. They have that for 364 days of the year. So.
Yeah, but you're always going to complain wherever you are. So
yeah, I don't complain. I make a point of not complaining about the hot weather. Yeah. I like it hot. Yeah. So hot as an oven.
Yeah, for me, it's crucial blue skies. That's what I need. It can be ice cold, but it must be, clear skies. Then I can deal with it.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
But on to more important matters. Cancer.
Yeah.
I have to say, just to kick it off, I mentioned my origins. I'm actually from Namibia, which is just north of South Africa. And my first encounter with cancer was actually in South Africa, in Cape Town, walking into a store and obviously sort of knowing already bands like Deicide and that kind of stuff. And it was actually when I saw the shelf then, and I'd seen a photo in Kerrang, and then I saw Death Shall Rise and took that home blindly without even listening. So I just went home. I figured, Scott Burns, all that.
Yes.
It reads quite well in the back. And there was no looking back for me. So that's only later that I got hold of the debut. And
to the gory end.
Yes.
Yes.
And been a great fan ever since. I think what I must commend you on is, and even to this day, I don't think there is a band in those. Yeah, if you love it or hate it, the label death metal that sounds like it. Similar. Not really, in my opinion.
No, that's a nice thing to say. Thanks. It really is. Cheers. So,
no, that's
the identity of the group. So. Yeah.
But you guys have never done this typical just blasting away, and it's always been that nice dose of groove, almost thrashiness, and then obviously then the speed bits and stuff. But always memorable tunes, stuff that'll stick in your head, stuff that you can sort of shout along. And that's always and when you guys were gone for a while, it's kind of I really missed that in the scene. Okay, there was 6 Feet Under did it for a while, the more groove oriented stuff. Then Jungle Rot came along. And it's all, but never with that same catch to the songs, if and catch not being a swear word, it's not, it's really stuff that, it doesn't take many listens and it sort of hooks you,
Yeah, well, the principal idea was to write songs, not just a set of riffs. So, to actually write songs and try and, have some fun with it, really, to sing about things that are, sometimes important or, a view on society, but also songs that aren't really important, that are just splatter and gore, So, I mean, that's the thing, is to try and keep a balance with entertaining topics and subjects as well. So I mean, you got a song like Tasteless Incest of Death Shall Rise, which is about it was about this serial incest rapist. Fritzl, his name was Joseph Fritzl. He was
that was later, but I mean we're very apt.
Yeah, well, he kept his daughter imprisoned in the cellar
and had children with her, and
that was it. And so I mean, that was quite a serious topic, along with electroconvulsive therapy. And then you've got songs like Into the Acid, which is where you've got the moment in RoboCop where somebody meets it in that way, so it's having that healthy balance, but to try and make some kind of
you've always had that balance. And even on Shadow Gripped, you can hear some songs are more fun, and some are more social, I think.
That's it that's what it's about for us.
So tell me, right off the cuff with To the Gory End, you landed at Morris Sound. That happened quite quickly then, huh?
Well, we recorded it in Wales.
Oh, you mixed it there, or what?
Yeah, it was mixed in Morris Sound. It was actually recorded in 4 days. in a out in the middle of nowhere studio in Wales with Scott Burns, who God knows what he must have thought, being from Tampa Bay, Florida, and having McDonald's and all the there's no McDonald's where we went. So it was 4 days of basically just putting down what we could, and then he took it back to America, to Florida, and Carl at the time went with him, and he mixed it, and then they released it.
And what was it like working with Scott, even on Death Shall Rise?
Yeah, he's with To the Gory End. I think it was his. He came out of. He'd done stuff in Brazil with Sepultura, and then I think he came over to England, to do this To the Gory End, and then he brought us to Morrisound, and he basically had the amplifiers, the guitars, everything how he wanted it, for the recording. But as a person, he was remarkably cool, calm, and if there was any dispute, he'd just go, well, whatever, and he was, he was laid back, and that really helps in the recording process, because there's a level of calmness, and he was great to work with that. He was the first person that we'd worked with, to do an album. So we'd done demo stuff, but working with an album was a bit, it's a bit more, he was a bit more meticulous, I suppose.
Did you get involved with structures, or did you guys basically, you had it down?
No, he basically, when we did when we did To the Gory End, he heard the rehearsal, and he asked me if there was any rhythm guitars underneath the leads, and I said, "Oh yeah." He's like, no problem then. Let's go to the bar. So yeah, it was. I mean, we were doing the vocals on the last day. It was the last thing on the last few hours that we had the studio. But I mean, 1989, it was slightly different times, for a young band setting out. Record companies didn't want to really take the risk with us, throwing a lot of money at us. So they gave us four days, and they gave us Scott Burns. I was surprised Scott did it, really, because he worked with some astonishing bands like, Death and Sepultura, and he came over and he did To the Gory End. But like I said, when we did the Death Shall Rise, it was a little bit more on his terms, and he was steering the truck at that point regarding the recording this time, So.
Oh, great albums. Even the follow-up, Sins of Mankind, I really enjoyed. But you guys made a move then. Did you decide consciously on a different sound, or was it just something that developed as it did?
Well, I think that back then we were actually still developing our sound, because by then we'd been doing tours. We went on tour with Deicide, and we done in North America, we'd done other tours in Europe with Pestilence and various other things. So we were starting to, I suppose, get influenced a bit off the scene. But I think for the Sins of Mankind, for me, it was a homage to German thrash bands like Sodom, Destruction, and Creator, because I used Gibson Flying V's on that, and I got my leather trousers on, and really quite went for it, because the Creator, and these bands were were a strong influence. You know, the death metal scene had that thrash roots. You listen to bands like Possessed. You know, you can hear the Bay Area thrash in that sound, but with you know, Jeff's death growl over the top. You know, and it's it's great stuff. But you know, it was a tribute to those bands because the massive influence. I remember when Sign of Evil by Sodom came out. You know, because we used to get our records from London by mail order from a shop called Shades. You know, and there was this factor again, like with Destruction, Sentence of Death, Infernal Overkill, Eternal Devastation, Pleasure to Kill by Creator. I liked the Flag of Hate as well, and when they did Riot of Violence and stuff like that. So it was, you can't help but get some influence off it. And I think with the Sins of Mankind, because we were using we switched producers then. We were using Simon Effany.
Okay, correct.
Stuff. Yeah. He did stuff with Paradise Lost at the time. So, you know, they were taking off, and we thought, well, rather than go to Florida, we can record back in Wales and bring in Simon, and that was the sound. But I think it was, an honest album at the time, you know. So, you know, wearing the
you haven't mentioned those bands. It's amazing the kind of influence. And way back when I bought those albums, I would have never thought that years down the line, even black metal bands would cite Destruction and Creator as major influences. And it's crazy. But listening back now, it makes sense. You know, you can hear it, you can pick it up. And but most of the German stuff really originated out of a sort of naivety, sort of not being really great at the instruments, you know, but that gave it the rawness, you know, and the intensity.
I mean, it was the imagination. I used to love it because especially with Sodom and Destruction, I think there was a bit of a competition who could wear the most bullet belts in the photographs, you know.
Yes.
Fantastic. You know, and, with the black under the eyes, and you know, very, very influential at the time. You know, and I loved it. That stuff. You know.
So, I'm going to backpedal a little bit. I missed a question that I wanted to ask. On Death Shall Rise, there's a gentleman doing backing vocals, Mr. Benton.
Yes.
How was it? How did that happen?
Yeah, we played with them in the UK and Scotland when they came over for their first tour. We supported them, and we played in Edinburgh and in London, and I think that was it. No, Bradford. We played Bradford as well, where he had his bass.
Rio.
Yeah, so we kind of got friendly with them, and then we played the Death Shall Rise, and Glenn came over because he knew us, and he had a smoke, and then he came in the studio and did that, you know. So I did him with him actually. He was, you know, I was quite impressed with his. With his vocal delivery. It made me think, you know, I'll try a bit harder, you know. But yeah, it was great. It was really good fun, you know. All he had to do was hung, drawn and quartered, and you know, he was happy doing it. But I think he was pleased to see us because of what he remembered from that, you know, the experience playing in the UK. So it's like he kind of knew us. He was, you know.
No, that's always cool. I mean, I really always enjoyed it when with these collaborations. And we're about to talk about another one. I think it was Anders Nystrom who joined you guys on, was it Ball Cutter?
Yes, I didn't see him in the studio though. We sent him the file.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. I know Anders from, I used to play for a band called Voice of Destruction, and we, in '69, we supported Catatonia and In the Woods here in Europe, in Europe. And many, many fun days on a tour bus, I tell you.
I'll bet.
It's crazy, yeah. But yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you then obviously came a sort of change in sound. I mean, the musical landscape changed there for a bit. I suppose it could have gone two ways. Either you consciously made the decision, or was there sort of label pressure? Yes, listen, we want some more contemporary approach on Black Faith, or
the Black Faith, yeah. No doubt. Yeah, I mean, it was. I think we wanted some money. I think that was the. We'd been doing cancer for some years, and although we were in the magazines and successful in the public eye, we had finished with our record label Vinyl Solution at the time, and I think with Black Faith, it was a case of because it was a major record label, that we had to consider, well, we've got to sell some records. A record company like that's not going to be interested in signing a band if you're not going to sell any records to their level or to their standard. So it didn't last very long. Once we recorded it, we did a tour in Europe with Skyclad, and when we went back to England, the whole thing basically collapsed by then. And that was the first time we split. Yeah.
And then you would return for Spirit in Flames in 2005.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dreamlike state that was that album. So we did the Oil EP as well. We did an EP called Oil, and after that, the record company wanted an album, which was Spirit in Flames, and it was kind of a mixture of styles on that record. I think we'd gone off in our own kind of direction a bit then, and it didn't. That whole situation didn't really last very long, and I think there was more. How would you say? It didn't feel right, and there had to be some more experimental music on my part to reach the full circle with it. So I started Liquid Graveyard roughly round. Well, it was about a year after Spirit in Flames had been released, and kind of experimented a bit more. And it wasn't then until I did 3 albums with Liquid Graveyard with different styles, and then Silent Scream, we were interested in re-releasing the first 3 Cancer albums, and we got going again to play some festivals, and that was the build up to Shadow Gripped. So
I was very happy when I saw that Shadow Grip was out. It sort of hit me by surprise, and I was like, wow. No, it blew me away. Very, very good album. Really enjoyed it.
Well, it was kind of a return.
Yes.
To the more, a bit more brutal with the, to the classic Cancer sound. I thought, obviously, with the new recording methods and everything, but again, song-orientated, song-driven stuff.
And it's sounding nice and raw, not too polished. It's really gritty and in your face.
Yeah.
Killer. So things have developed, I've seen. Carl is no longer with you?
Yeah.
And Ian? Oh.
Yeah. They left. about February.
Okay.
And I think that, you know, with the COVID and the restrictions, and it was kind of, I mean, thinking about it for 2 years isn't, you know, isn't the best of things anyway. So, and I think they felt that they'd finished. They didn't feel that they wanted to, you know, continue with it. So as the band, now they knew that the band was starting up again, that was when they, you know, bailed out, you know, and I'm happy that they, you know, made that choice there and then, you know, which gave me time to get a new drummer and a new bass player in the group, you know. So
you have them now nearby, or are they also abroad?
No, they're both in Spain. So
right. So you have, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're quite far apart from the drummer. He's a few hours away, but we can still rehearse, you know, when we need to. So, and we're still signed to Peaceville Records, and they're expecting a new. Well, we were talking about a new album in 2023. So it's been busy.
Yeah, well, I always say it's. I've also played myself, and you know, at the age I'm at now, I can so much understand when people don't want to do it anymore, and life just sort of commands you to sort of, you know, do your normal 9 to 5. And so I always take my hat off to people that are still active, still doing the touring, still playing festivals, and still producing albums in times where, you know, there is just no return on investment, you know, almost.
Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, you know, I'm faced with the question of, well, what am I going to do? That's the thing. If you know, if I don't do music, what am I going to do? And I'd rather just continue to do music. You know, it's just easier if I do that. And so I've got cancer in the lap, so to speak. You know, and I can not literally, obviously, but
hopefully not.
Quite happy to, you know, continue. And like I say, I mean, I'm busy working on lyrics at the moment. Most of the music's written for the next album, so we've got a couple of festivals, and hopefully we're going to rehearse enough to get it, you know, tight and raw for the recording, you know, for the next album.
Are you going to record in the UK or here in Europe, on the mainland?
I haven't decided yet wherever's, because I want to use a producer, and you know, because I'm using new musicians. I think it's just easier, you know, if we have a producer, and you know, wherever we can, where or whoever will have us, I suppose, you know, who's going to put up with us recording in their studio, you know. So
I've had an interesting talk to Randy Burns the other day. He's back in the business.
Good.
and on the lookout. And he's on the lookout.
Oh wow. Gosh. What, Randy Burns. That's a blast from the past, isn't it?
Yes.
That really is a blast from the past.
Dark Angel, Nuclear Assault. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I don't think you'll get any problem getting any work.
No, I don't think. I can't imagine.
Oh. They'll be lining up. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
But you've got nothing in terms of title or cover art or anything planned as of yet.
I haven't yet. No, I'm still at the putting the songs together.
Yeah. Are you still in touch with James Murphy? Frozen.
Hello?
Yep, you're back.
Okay, yeah, I think we've lost the connection then. So,
Yep.
no, I'm just working on songs at the moment, and let's just say it's the death metal with the death lyrics and the and on point with that. So.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering because he since he played lead on your albums, if you're still in touch. And
Well, I'm not sure, So.
No, I just saw an interview with him recently, and but he'd also had a stint of actual cancer, and yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! Okay. Gosh.
Man, I suppose you can also not predict how your touring will look like, or do you have the one-off shows independent of the album?
Well,
Anything?
we've got the Maryland thing coming up.
Okay.
We've got the Death Fest in Maryland, and there's something in it's the UK Death Fest. I have to remember, which is later on in September. I think it's in September. We're rehearsing at the moment for the show at the end of next month, and putting songs together. Making it work, basically. And
I think there's a Netherlands Death Fest now as well. I saw Yeah, it's just seems to be becoming a franchise.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah, where's the Netherlands one? Is it in Tilburg?
Could be. I'd have to research. I'd have to look.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where they're holding it. No idea. But you guys have been on Partisan here in Germany?
No, I don't know.
That's like the big Partisan, yeah. That's one of the bigger death brutal festivals here in Germany.
Oh no. Yeah. We did. No, we played a few festivals, way back. That was before the COVID. I have to think about it, actually, but but not that one. No, played that.
Perfectly. No, cool. That pretty much wraps it for me. I would like to drop a few links in the description below when I post the video. Do you have any specific links you would like to have in there?
If there's one for the cancer Facebook or whatever, So.
Would that be your main?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
It's usually run out of my hands, actually. So
okay.
I have to get other people to sort that out. Otherwise, I get kind of lost with it, and it doesn't work. So every time I use a computer, the thing basically just goes wrong. It's like freezes up, or I think I've got the Medusa touch.
Yeah, it's something you radiate.
Yeah, technology, and it's just anything with a chip and it stops working.
Yeah. So you obviously, from what I've now gathered, is more of a friend of actually going into a studio. And I mean, there's so many bands now, especially with technology, and I'm doing it as well. I just don't find the time to practice anymore, or like 4 guys in a room kind of thing. And because everybody's just so far apart, and so obviously a lot of people are now just tracking at home and sending it away for a mix. So, but if you've already said you would like to work with a producer, then obviously you're more of a friend of go in a proper studio, track it together, capture the raw tracks.
Yeah, it's having somebody who's going to overlook the process, so that that it's on the money, So the musicians focus on being musicians and not producers. So
Yes.
I prefer that. You know, I like to just, you know, go to a studio, whether it's absolutely together or it's in different, I don't mind. But as long as there's a producer involved, going yeah or no, and
it's always good to have a neutral person sort of saying,
yeah, well, to overlook the process as well, you know, so that you know it rests on another person's shoulders, you know, because obviously you don't want to put out something that you might regret. You know, you might think it sounded great at the time, but having somebody else with those different ears, I think it's just, you know, it's like a safety net, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you get too close to it, huh? That's lose objectivity and
yeah, it can get a form of mania, I think.
Yes,
you know. And then you step back a bit and go, right, well, look, you know, is it going to take away the vibe of the recording? You know, if everything's recorded, you know, is without that raw in your face. I'd rather substitute a little bit of technical proficiency for raw and honest vibe and playing. To be honest, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the scene's been saturated with, you know, very much almost over digitally produced kind of records where they've required more on. Well, they've depended more or relied. That's probably the best word. More on the modern recording techniques and a little less on, you know, getting the band together and getting the vibe sounding, you know, in the studio.
I think that's with a lot of modern productions that sort of pass my ears. It's just I'm immediately turned off by this really clinically over-polished sound where it sounds so thin.
Yeah.
And there's no, you know, I'm more a fan of warm sound where I can almost hear the Marshall cabinet, you know, just that raw and also the if you track your scratch tracks live, it has that push-pull, you know, that human error, and it gives it more of an aggressive feel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it gives it a bit more dynamic, doesn't it?
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
Human error. You know, when AC/DC put out their first albums, you know, Let There Be Rock and Power Age, there's an element of rawness in those records. You know, you can hear the amp buzz. I mean, especially now they've remastered them with George Marino remastering them. The sound is incredible, you know, on them. And I love that kind of like live sound, you know, keeping it live to the point.
There seems to be a big resurgence now to back to that sound, with a lot of groups going back to that really raw, honest sound. And it's always refreshing to hear that there is that sort of wanting to sound more organic again.
That's it, yeah. So it's like a living thing, you know. Instead of so I think it sounds kind of cool with a few bit more of a vibe and a bit less, you know, perfection.
Yes, absolutely. And there are so many. It drives me crazy. You switch on YouTube, it's just, you know, you have teenagers that. Funny thing, I actually saw an interview with George Lynch of Dokken fame.
Yeah.
And, you know, back in the day, he was like the hottest cat on the guitar, you know? Almost, you know. And he said, look at these kids today. My God, I can't play that shit. And that was amazing to hear from him, you know. It's like kind of, but I think between the lines he wanted to say, so it's good, but can you do it standing up? Number one. And can you write songs? So
Can you do it after being in the tour bus for 6 weeks? That's the test, isn't it? Yeah.
probably like the test.
when you've woken up, next to somebody's dirty socks,
And year after year after year, yeah.
That's the
Been there, done that.
isn't it?
Yeah, no, there's a reality to it. That's it, definitely. Awesome. Jeff, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled.
Yeah.
For next year.
Yeah. It'll be like I said. I mean, now I've got I've got a new lineup. I've got Gabriel Balcathar, who's played in the band Werned. Plays in the band Werned.
Oh yes, that rings a bell. Yes.
So he's on drums, and I've got Daniel Maganto. He's from Madrid. I've known him for years, and he plays in a group called Eternal Storm, and we've been rehearsing. So that's the main thing. They're hungry to do it, and they're ready to do the new songs, to get the new songs, and continue the thrash and death. So.
Yeah, but you've already connected in Liquid Graveyard, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I've known him for years.
Yeah,
Daniel. Yeah. So he was playing with us in Slovenia at the festival. I keep forgetting. God. But,
so many.
Yeah. So I mean, he's good, and he's easy, easy to work with, and rather helpful as well. So I really like working with these guys. So we're looking forward to.
And isn't that crucial? Getting along, being able to work together.
A
lot of people don't realize that. Yeah.
Pretty laid back, and really on the case of just playing the metal, and that's the main thing. That's where we connect.
Last final question: what gear do you play?
All right, I've got a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier amplifier, and I've got a Patrick Eggle Berlin Plus guitar, which was built in Coventry in England. I bought it in 1993 or 1994. So, and I'm still using it. Well, I've changed the pickup. That's it. I've got a BB pedal. It's an exotic preamp pedal from California, which I use sometimes to boost my sound or control the gain a bit more. But usually it's just straight into a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, or quite like Marshalls as well. I used to like the old the valve states as well.
Yes.
Still, if I still use them, I'm quite happy, because I quite like the gain on them. There's that throaty gain. It's almost like a gritty sound to it.
I'm using one of those at the moment, Valve State 100 into a 4x12. Yeah.
Wow.
Very happy with the sound. Very happy.
Yeah. I think it was was it Prong, the group Prong? They used.
Wow, you just read my mind. I was just thinking of Tommy Victor.
Yeah.
Yes.
He used, didn't he?
Yes.
I only heard snap your fingers, snap your neck. I was like, man, that guitar sound, that rules.
Insane chunk on there. Wow.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the valve states.
Really cool.
So you're using the valve state. What guitar have you got?
I used to be heavily into Jacksons.
Yeah.
And but over the years I've jumped onto an ESP Kirk Hammett.
Wow.
With the EMGs, and I've just added another ESP, the Arrow.
Yeah.
I think Alexi Lyer of Children of Bodom played them a lot, and I'm really happy with them.
Yeah, I like ESPs.
ESPs are. I've never encountered a model that I thought it was even the lower range, the more affordable versions are really well crafted. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? To buy a guitar, literally buy it off the peg, and it's usable. You know, you don't have to change the pickups or the machine heads, or
yes.
You know. Yes. So, I mean, I've got a Gibson 135 kind of jazz guitar, which I put some DiMarzios in it. So, you know the P90 soap bar pickups.
Yeah,
I had those, and I thought, well, I'll put some humbuckers in it. I put the DiMarzios in it, and with the F holes, these chambers, it's got a hell of a sound through the Mesa Boogie, the bottom end.
Resonant. Wow.
So it's completely uncontrollable. It's like a wild stallion. You know, you just cannot control it at all. You know, but
that thing must have sustained like a beast.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I used it for some recording with Liquid Graveyard, and it used to take 15 minutes to put all the masking tape across all the parts, because it's got a tailpiece
yes.
next, you know. So, oh my God, you know, as soon as you start doing your palm muting, you get all kinds of sounds if you don't. Yeah. I was like, where's that sound coming from? It's off the guitar.
Yeah, I've had that recently where I get that with the palm muting. When I do stops, I get that hum still coming through, and so I've done my isolating there.
Yeah, it's tweaking it, isn't it, in the studio, just so that you don't.
Yes.
You don't lose your sound, but you're controlling those noises that kind of appear out of the ether. You know?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. Bloody hear it now. You know, so.
Oh, there it is. The studio does not lie.
That's right. Yeah. So get your Yamaha NS10s, and you know, you hear, what's that sound? It's off the guitar. How many tracks did I record with it? Oh no. Yeah.
Picking up radio stations.
Yeah, well, this Gibson does, you know, lovely guitar to play though, you know, really, you know, especially, you know, in a rehearsal room, because it's got such a beefy sound, you know, with this nasty throaty top with it, you know. But like I say, it's just the feedback's legendary, you know. It's like Live at Last by Black Sabbath, you know. It's like, woo!
Yeah. Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. Okay.
Do you think you got enough material?
I've got what I want.
Okay, good stuff. I couldn't hear one of your questions at one time. I think we lost the link.
Yeah. I've had a bit of my internet has been up and down lately.
Yeah, well, I was wondering if it's mine, because mine sometimes is a bit.
Mine's been dodgy the whole week, so.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon in 1969, and he used the radio, he could be heard on planet Earth, you know. But you know, some days the internet's kind of, I lose the signal just going downstairs, you know.
Yes.
It's quite crazy, isn't it? Really. Perhaps we've gone backwards, you know.
Yeah. Houston.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
John, I'm going to drop you a link when I've got it online.
Okay, then.
And perhaps you can get your guys to share it on your Facebook page. That'd be awesome.
Okay, fantastic. Don't forget to edit the
I'll take out the
bits where we lost the contact.
Well,
you can leave it in, and people will go, "Hey, what's going on?" You know?
I'll just put a bleep over it.
Yes. Mix it with some music, you know.
Donate to my page to find out that info.
That's the way. Okay, well, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for making the time.
That was a pleasure.
And I'm looking very much forward to the album, and I'll be in touch, and always I'll keep my eyes open.
Yeah, perhaps we could do it again after the album.
Yes, that'd be great. Gladly.
And we could, you know, some questions, you know, about the album, things like that. So because I don't know where I you know, with the songwriting at the moment, I don't really want to give any clues away at the moment.
No.
I'm still at the in the writing mode of the lyrics, and I might say something that doesn't happen, and then it'll be like, oh no. So,
but John, we live in times where I feel they always let too much of the cat out of the bag these days. You know, you get these. I'm not a fan of getting these snippets beforehand, and I want the whole thing when it's out there.
Yeah. Well,
and these days with the internet, everything is so. Okay, here's the new Exodus album. Okay, now I've already heard half of it, so yeah, you know.
That's right. They won it yesterday, you know. So anyway, well, you know, I think it'd be good, you know, to perhaps do an Into the Pit session after the record. Well, after you've heard it.
Yes. I will most definitely do a review, and then maybe simultaneously we do another chat.
Okay. That'd be fantastic.
I think that's the plan.
Okay.
Awesome.
Sounds good to me.
John, go well.
That one.
Cheers.
Okay then. Cheers.
Keep well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.